we have here is the spark plug valley cover from my 4AG engine. Now I have been very much looking forward to restoring this because it looks pretty bad. The paint has peeled off. I don't know if this is original paint or not, but it has peeled off. In the areas where it has peeled off, it has rusted pretty badly. I don't know if this was because of exposure to oil or maybe coolant, or I have no idea. But the underside, as you can see, looks much better. Unfortunately, this isn't the side you see once you lift the engine lid. What you see is this, and it looks very, very nasty. Okay, to properly restore this, the first thing I'll need to do is remove this old paint, get rid of the old paint. Now, there are basically three ways to do this. One is with a wire wheel, basically a wire brush attachment and a drill bit or something. This is what I have used for my distributor heat shield restoration. It's basically a wire brush attachment and a drill. It worked fine. However, it's great for removing rust, but to remove old paint, it probably can be done, but I think it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to be too much of an effort. The other way to do this is to get a paint stripper. Many people do this. The paint stripper will work, but it's very messy. There's a lot of these bits of paint once the paint starts peeling off, and to be honest, the smell is horrible, and it's pretty bad for you to be inhaling paint stripper. Now, the third way is probably the fastest and the best way, and it's what I intend to do. Since I have already bought my heat gun that I have used for my DIY paint curing, paint drying, paint baking oven, call it whatever you want, I'm going to use a heat gun to get the paint off this thing, and then I'm going to get rid of the rust, going to degrease it, and going to paint it. Basically the same procedure as with restoring any other part. After some action with the heat gun and the little spatula, this is what we basically have. As you can see, the heat gun was very successful at removing most of the paint. There's still a little bit in these crevices and on some parts of the front. As you can see, what we now have is quite a bit of rust. The spatula actually couldn't reach some of the pits and the creases because of the shape of the part, but what I used then was basically a set of wire brushes. Once more, as you can see, the heat gun made short work of it, and a bigger wire brush. So they were also pretty useful in removing paint from here, for example, parts like this. So what I'm going to do now is try to get rid of the rust. As you can see, this is pretty old rust. It's pretty stained in there, and it's going to take a bit of an effort to get rid of it. I'm going to get some eye protection. I'm going to get some gloves, and I'm going to use the wire wheel attachment and the drill to get rid of the rust, actually all of the rust. After quite a bit of more work with the wire wheel and even some more work with the heat gun, I managed to remove every last bit of paint, as well as probably every last bit of rust from the spark plug valley cover. As you can see, this already looks much nicer than before, and I'm going to go ahead and degrease this and then paint it. I'm painting it with a high temperature coating. It's basically a spray paint product that resists up to 800 degrees Celsius. It needs to be baked on. I have my DIY aluminum foil oven for that. And this probably isn't going to reach even close to 800 degrees Celsius, but it should provide resistance as well against corrosion, basically oil. I hope the oil doesn't come here anyway, but also coolant spills and maybe oil spills. Again, hopefully that won't happen, but this product advertises that it can protect against such contamination as well. As you can see, I have hung the spark plug valley cover. It's now suspended and ready for degreasing and painting. For degreasing, I'm going to use some brake cleaner. There are of course other products and other ways. I just found that brake cleaner works good for me. It evaporates fast and it leaves the surface very clean. Of course, when you're spray painting, don't forget to use a breathing mask, such as this one or any other. And yeah, let's degrease the part and then we can start with the painting. I'm gonna let the brake cleaner evaporate for maybe 10 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna get to painting. As you can see, the part is thoroughly dried. As you can see, the spark plug valley cover is now completely dry. It looks very nice. The last step, as with my heat shield, is to put it in my DIY aluminum foil and heat gun oven. The paint that I use, the high temperature paint that I use on the spark plug valley cover, requires heating the part up to 160 degrees Celsius once painted. My DIY aluminum foil oven can handle that, and I'm going to put a part in and bake it for maybe an hour or so until the temperature reaches 160 or more. I'm going to let it cool down, I'm going to take the part out, and it's going to be finished. It's going to look basically the same, so I'm not going to record that. That's pretty much it when it comes to the spark plug valley cover. As you can see, the part looks a lot better now. If you want to know more about the oven, click the link. Also check out the description for more details. Also check out my blog for more MR2 and 4AG tips, tricks and other interesting content. Thanks for watching and see you around.